Hey. Oh, hey. I'm on a stump. It would happen to be my birthday today, and I would happen to be at Lake Tahoe. And the energy here is so pure. It's so pure. Something that I have found on my journey as a soul in a human body is the importance of putting yourself in environments that are very pure, filled with nature, because nature literally is always living in a state of harmony. It's so clean and activating and purifying, and I feel like I can connect to God easier. God, love, the universe, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, it's my birthday and I'm out here breathing, feeling, noticing. I remember a few years ago, I was moving through a really, really heavy time. My Saturn return was really heavy. Really heavy. Every area of my life being demolished. And I had to face certain things that I could no longer ignore. And I just was done ignoring my intuition, you know? And I just knew I really wanted truth, and I really wanted to live a peaceful life, a joyful life. And I knew I deserved more than what I was in. And so I'm sitting here, you know, traveling and just so in awe of what I've been creating. Like, this present moment is so rare for me in ways when I look at the last 10 years of my life. But this isn't going to be rare anymore. This is my normal. And just traveling more, you know? I feel like sometimes we, it's very subconscious at times, and sometimes it's conscious, but what I'm about to say, which is there's a part of us that doesn't believe we're worthy of having certain things, and it really just comes down to fear and self-worth, obviously, and not feeling in your power. But the truth is that you can create anything, and you can be anything, and you can do anything. And especially when you partner with God and with the energy of love, and that energy will have you look at certain things, right, as a means to heal and to grow. I mean, when you think about the way that plants come to be, right? Like, everything starts from a seed, and then that seed has to push through, you know, like push through the freaking dirt. It has to push through the dirt. And I'm sure that process is uncomfortable. And same thing with the butterfly, right? When it's in its caterpillar state, and it's pushing through what do we call that? Anyways, growth is uncomfortable, right? It's uncomfortable at times, and it's so necessary. And through the uncomfortable energy, you learn so much. You learn so much about what you're capable of, and just how strong you are, and just how capable you are. And fear is what will keep someone from going on that journey. And I have great compassion for anyone who feels fear, because I get it. I so get it in my own way, because there's often fear about like, what am I gonna lose? What if I lose this? What if I have to like start all over? What if I, it can bring up a lot of worry. And I just think our natural state as humans is love. And worry and anxiety and depression and grief and sadness and all that are definitely energies that we're to experience here on this planet. It's part of what it means to be human, because it really, if you just don't give it a name as being bad, if you just know that it's energy, it's a type of energy, you're not as attached to it, and you're not making so much meaning over it, and you just accept it, and then you choose an empowered energy, and then you can move through it, right? So we're not, in my opinion, we're not here to avoid or dismiss or disassociate from the denser energies, right? Like fear, anger, grief, all those things I just mentioned. But we're definitely not supposed to stay in them. We're not. And you're not a victim to anything. Everything is a teacher. And when you start to look at things like that and go, what is this teaching me? And when you also ask God, love, the universe, that same question, because sometimes your ego, right, will say some things about what this is teaching you, but there's often, it's almost like you see like this, right, but God sees this. That's why I have found the importance of partnering with God and with your soul and with your higher self and with your guides. And sometimes that takes working with other people to help guide you. People who have been on a healing path, because anyone who's truly been on a healing path has absolutely felt the denser energies and had to be like a warrior, literally. And anyways, the path is so necessary. Like, when I reflect on where I've been, who I've been, what I was choosing, and then where I am and have been now, especially this year in particular, everything has to do with the day I chose myself. And it's interesting because when I really reflect on my life, like, there was a time when I had rash like all over my body, and it was like that for years. And I started to get really curious about like what I was putting in my body, like food and stuff. And I went vegan, and I was experimenting, like how was my body reacting when I didn't have dairy or like didn't have meat or whatever. So I was choosing myself in those moments, right? And like what I'm getting at is when I reflect, I'm like, oh, there's so many moments when I was choosing myself. And at the same time not choosing myself in other ways. But I remember there was a day, I think it was it was nighttime, I actually got on my hands and my knees, and I had like a real come to God moment, like come to Jesus moment, and was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm done being in what I'm in. And I think at the time I was listening to certain content that would talk about angels, and it just really resonated with me. And I just was like, angels, like, show me the way. Like, I'm listening. Like, I'm miserable, My mental health was just so not good. I was anxious and depressed and felt like I was very in victim consciousness. Like, why is this happening to me? Like, and actually, like I said, like, got on my hands, my knees, and everything started changing, and I started being guided and led, and had to do a lot of things alone because I was part of the journey. I mean, I now know it's like my spirit guides were with me, God was with me, angels, ancestors, all that, but like in the physical realm, I was alone doing healing work. And then certain people would come in, right? Like, I did therapy for a bit, so I had that figure in my life, and then like other mentors started coming into my life, And I learned a lot. And then it took another level up when I chose to attune myself to Reiki, because your energy field is getting attuned to a really high vibrational energy, really healing energy, and then that makes you purge. That makes you purge, for sure. But I needed it. I needed all that. And when you think about self-love, you do whatever you need to do to become what you really are, which is love, right? So if you notice, for example, that you're resisting certain things, if you notice you're procrastinating on certain things, if you notice that you're feeling agitated towards certain things, whatever, right? It's all energy. So it's just the universe, God, showing you, hey, like, let's look at this. And not only let's look at this, but let's do something about it. And like, I'll show you the way, but you know, are you willing to listen? Like, are you willing to surrender your will to a higher creator's will, right? Like I said, we see this, but God sees everything. And we like to think we're in control, but we're not in control. And control is a lower vibrational energy, you know what I mean? There's absolutely something to be said about taking conscious actions towards a goal, right? Which there needs to be a level of willpower. So control in a way, I guess, is like self-control. Like, is there a better word for that? You know what I mean? Like, that's healthy, you know, being able to being able to master your energy. That would be the way I'd actually put it. There's mastering your energy with God driving, and then there's trying to control your environment. And often that's because there was a time in your life when you did not feel like you were in control. But all that can be healed. All that can be healed. That's why, if you're on your healing journey, my suggestion would just be to get curious about energy and holistic health, like anything that incorporates the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels of us. Do that. Do that. I do one-on-ones, by the way, so if you want to work together, I can also help you navigate and come to see what you're ready to see, you know what I mean? So yeah, what I'm getting at is just that you have the power to absolutely change your life and change your energy and create whatever. That just know that your outer world is a reflection of something inside, and there's something to be said about ancestral trauma, right? Because we have 7 generations, so they say, of DNA going from your maternal line and your paternal line in you. So also know that sometimes when you're experiencing something, it's because great grandma didn't heal something, and you know, now you get to. And you're gonna be like, what the heck, grandma? But I believe we choose everything as a soul before we come here, so just accept it. Go, oh, like, literally, God wouldn't give you anything you couldn't handle. Anything. And I think every soul is here to learn a specific set of certain things. This is what I'm finding. Like, for me, a lot of it has to do with courage and transformation and growth, death and rebirth, and like changing rapidly, and like dying and rebirthing on a higher level, right? It's just what my soul chose. But some other souls choose other things, right? All of it as a means to grow. So just know, if you're like, why? This is freaking hard. Like, yeah, babe. Yeah. And it's a challenge. Like, how can we reframe our words, right? Oh, like, I'm experiencing a challenge. And just like any other human experiences, like, they all look different, but we all will go through challenges. Okay, so I'm not alone. And I can do it, and it's okay to ask for help. It's actually very natural. Like, when I think about the way that humans used to live more so, which is like very much in like community and tribes, I just think it was super healthy and such a known at the importance of being with other people in community. And yeah, it's interesting too, because I had to do a lot of healing around codependency, and there is something to be said about hyper independence. Everything needs to be very balanced, in my opinion. It doesn't need to be. Nothing needs to happen. That's also a word that I am working on, forever working on. I mean, things. Nothing needs to happen, but I guess what I'm saying is just, I see it as there's a balance to be had between partnering with other people and being independent. Because if you're hyper independent, that's one thing. And if you're codependent, that's another thing. But anyways, I'm just feeling very grateful to be here on this planet at this time. Really grateful for the adventures that I've had and the ones that are coming through, because boy, do I feel them. Boy, do I feel them. But be here now, in this here now moment, for that is the only real thing, really. And last thing, it's funny because I feel like sometimes there's talk out there about, like, how do I put this? There can be talk about projecting into the future, I guess, and like, no, like the here now moment is everything, and it is, trust me. But there's something to be said about intuition and feeling into energy, and like there's different timelines occurring all the time. So yes, there's this here now moment, but there's also these other moments that you can tune into and feel into. The more that you heal, the easier this gets. So I can feel, I can feel into different timelines and possibilities and things that are coming, you know what I mean? But then the work is to let that go and just put your attention to yourself, to love and to joy and to the energies that you're creating, because then that is like, it's almost like if I think of like a yellow brick road or something, and I imagine someone like laying brick by brick, it's like that yellow, like that joy, which is very solar plexus. Solar plexus is right here, above your tummy, above your belly button, and it's for your willpower and your personal power. Anyways, thank you. Yellow brick road, got it. But yeah, if you think of that analogy, right, and that someone has to lay brick by brick, what am I getting at? I'm getting a lot of things right now. Ground the energy. I'm just saying there is something to be said about knowing. I see that brick right there. Like, I see that next brick that's to be laid. And the more you just focus on the joy, the peace, the love right now, and you're very clear on your intentions, what you're wanting to create, and then feeling it now, so you're not in want, you're not in lack, you're in it now, then that next brick just gets laid and gets laid and gets laid and gets laid, and then before you know it, you're in that moment that you created. Like, you're physically in it then, right? The moment that you created like 2 months ago. Because, that's manifestation basically, right? Yeah. Anyways, sending you love from Tahoe. Happy birthday to me. And I'm gonna meditate here before I continue on my little walk, but I just wanted to say hi and share a little love and a little energy, and that's it. you know,